good girlfriend, Satin.
And I'm your gal, Joy. Hey.
Hey, y'all. So on today's episode, we'll be talking about pressure. The pressure that we go through, whether that's financial pressure, pressure to be successful, pressure to get married, or maybe you're already married and maybe your pressure to have kids, or if we're going to get real serious and real grown, maybe we're talking about the pressure to perform for your husband.
What do you mean? What kind of performance?
You know, whatever those pressures may be.
Yes.
Come on in. Let's see what's in your cup. Because what's in my cup may not be what's in your cup. So welcome.
Welcome. So which one you want to tackle first? Like, I could, which one you want to tackle first for the people?
What's in your cup, friend? How about we open up with what's in your cup, friend?
Okay, because see, I was going to try to do like the back in the day, like what if your parents, hey, real quick, real random fact. Okay. I was driving down the street today and I saw a wrapped Amazon vehicle that had coming to America wrapped on that thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I said, let me find out.
I guess so, because it did come out on Amazon Prime. Yeah. Okay, I get it. I was about to say, why? Okay.
But a lot of movies do.
Mm-hmm.
I said, let me find out Amazon got a street team.
Let me find out.
Please find out y'all out here having the flyers.
What's in my cup? Let what's in my cup be y'all street team for the people.
Right?
Street cup team.
Hey. So, you know, pressures could come from when you're a kid, from your parents, from your schoolmates, or whatever, right?
Self-inflicted or not. Mm-hmm.
I think right now the pressure that I put on myself falls in line with like my kids and then my cultivating them and giving them, you know, the best of the world.
Talk about it. Okay.
So, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting my kids back into extracurricular things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, COVID kind of wiped that out, but it also gave us the time to not have to be anywhere, have to rush. Ooh.
I love that time.
Me too.
Right.
So now, like, when you hear other parents like, yeah, my kid's in such and such, or my kid does this, or we're doing this, it's like, so it's like, man, all right, let me catch up. Let me catch up and make
You're making a flow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can get real comfortable and, you know, like that doesn't work for me. This doesn't work for my schedule, but it really ain't about me. So, you know,
right. It rarely ever is when you're a mother.
Yeah. So that right there is probably one of the most self-prescribed pressures. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the school, you know, those aptitude tests, what do they call them tests? Our kids take in school. What are them tests, like the Colgate, what's the name of the test?
I think Colgate when we was in school. What's the nut?
Colgate, it's Colgate.
Colgate, whatever. Aptitude test. They want the IQ test, basically. What do you know? Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, well, I know the county that I live in has like this quote unquote gifted program.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, well, I think my kid is fairly smart than your average bear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, let me just test her again. Y'all test her again.
Right.
Let's just test her again. So, but I don't know how to read those numbers that they send out. I don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I was like, well, let me just make sure y'all treat my child right. But anyway, so some of those things, like making sure that I get it right, but I don't even know what's right. There's not even a right.
Okay.
Being an advocate for your kid, number one.
Okay.
So you want to make sure that you are fighting the right fight, picking the right battles.
That's true.
For your children. So, I mean, that's the prominent one.
Okay, so being mommy and being what you see as a perfect mom. for you and your household, or the best mom, I should say, for you and your household. So that's one of your biggest pressures. I experienced that same pressure.
Well, I know you do.
Yeah, I experienced the same pressure. I have two. We both have two apiece. So, and I have a boy and a girl. So the way I parent them is different. And so I'm constantly worrying about, how do I rear them? How do I raise them? Like, am I being too tough on this and I'm being too lenient on the other one? Or am I being too lenient on the other one, not being too tough on this one? What type of love that they need? I'm also constantly trying not to, and this is, no, mommy, if you're listening, this has nothing to do with your parenting, but I am constantly trying to not parent the old school way like my mom did. And I'm not saying that it was bad, but my mama didn't play. So, it was more so a spare and a rod. When there was much conversation and much talking, or we didn't discuss a lot of things. So I'm trying to be, I definitely do believe in that old school spare and a rod. Best believe if they out of line, they ain't fine. Okay. But I also want to be able to talk to them, and I want them to feel comfortable enough to come talk to me. So that is one of the pressures that I kind of experienced too. And then I have kids on, opposite ends of, I said, a learning curve. I got one that's just really quick, very intelligent, very smart. And I got one that struggles a little more. And me putting him in an atmosphere or a learning environment that's conducive to how he learns. So that's a lot of pressure for me. It always has been, since he's probably been here, maybe since I noticed that there was some delays or difficulties. So those parent pressures, those mommy pressures, I completely understand where you're coming from with that. So totally. And that may be more self-inflicted, because you always hear people say, "Oh, you're such a great mom." I'm like, if you know my kids ate for breakfast this morning, you probably wouldn't think I was the best mom, but okay, let's just go with that.
Yeah, or like, am I feeding them the right thing? Am I giving too much of this?
Yeah. That's a constant.
Oh, she's freezing again.
Struggle, because kids are a little different now. Like my kids are a little bigger than the average, so I be a little concerned. Like, okay, should I be cutting back on something? but
they fine.
They're healthy. They're healthy. They're good. But those are concerns, because I mean, it's different things in the food that we're eating today. So.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So besides that, I'm trying to think of, like, because I try to think like, I ain't got no real like, I'm not trying to graduate school. I'm not trying to run a marathon. I'm not athletic.
But what about workplace pressure? How do you experience workplace pressure?
Of course.
Okay. So what does that look like to you? Where maybe your workplace pressure doesn't look the same as my workplace pressure, or what I see as pressure may be a piece of cake for you, or vice versa. How do you do that? And do you think that's more like a self thing or a society thing?
It's probably both.
A little both. Yeah, because, I agree.
Like, pressure could come from, you have your own expectations that you want to meet and that you set, and then you have just the expectations that you're that are set for you. So I think it's a balance. I think it ebbs and flows. I think it's not constant, depending on the type of work that you do.
Right.
It may come in. It may come. It may be all high pressure, or it may just be here and there type of pressure. I don't know. I try to, like, not be pressed.
You know what I think? Like, I think if more of us, and this just came to me like earlier today when I was thinking about our topic. Like, I think if we take the expectation, okay, and or if we take reality, and then we take the expectation out of the reality, I think we'll find our happiness, or we'll find our middle ground, we'll find our place, in life. Because, I mean, there's no way you can take expectation, whether it's your expectation, your boss expectation, family expectation, work, society, whatever the expectation is, you can't mix expectation and reality and then just think life is going to be smooth.
Right.
So
that's a good point.
We'll find our happy if we took, that word expectation out of just out of life, out of reality, out of what we're doing, whatever it is we're doing.
I'm gonna have to think about that tomorrow. I'm like, a reality.
Dear diary, today. Dear diary.
By expectation, I don't need you. I don't want you. I don't want you.
I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't want you no more. What movie is that?
That's Angela Bassett and Wayne Nancy, right?
And I don't want you.
No. Was that Wayne Nancy, or was that what's love got to do with it? No, that was when she played the Jackson's mama. When she
that's it. When she put in her husband. That's it. I was gonna say, girlfriends, y'all comment below and tell us if y'all remember that movie, or we just showing right now. Because I remember that was like a whole week premiere. And I don't want you. And I don't want you no. We don't want the expectation anymore. Hey, we want to find our happy and find our, find us in the midst of that reality.
Here's the reality. Take that. So nobody is like left with doubt or whatever. But anyway, people set expectations and you're supposed to supposed to meet and exceed them, right?
I feel like a pressure, and I probably put it on myself. Actually, I'm lying. I know I put it on myself. So one of my pressures was like pressure to be successful. And when I say successful, I don't mean filthy rich, living in a penthouse, flying by private jet everywhere. I mean successful where I looked around and I can truly say, oh, we good. Like, I ain't really worried about too much of nothing. Like, we good. I felt like I needed to outgrow, not necessarily my circumstances, but maybe like the way I grew up, worried about money and worried about, how I was gonna make ends meet, and getting in not just a job but a career and something that I could, progress in and move forward in. So that was more so of a pressure on myself. And like I said, this is no slight to the way I grew up, because truth be told, if it wasn't for how I grew up and the mom that I have, I don't think I would be as well off as I am. And I don't mean well off financially. I just mean well off, just well rounded, well educated. Just I got sense. Like I ain't too far crazy. You know what I mean.
So it's interesting because it seems like your pressure to be your term of wealth, it was self-inflicted.
It is.
And motivating. And I can't recall, there's plenty of times in my life where I probably set myself up for some pressure, but I never really walked around with like, at least I don't feel like or think I did, that I have to, I gotta do this, I gotta be this, I don't, and I'm not saying that that's a good thing, but I don't know, because
I did.
Isn't that sort of, you would think that's motivation, and you try to look at what's behind your motivation. But I don't think I had motivation, but I never gave myself a certain criteria or expectation or pressure to get there. I don't know.
It's a double-edged sword though. Like it really is. Like, wow, I like how you said motivation, but in the same vein, it was also more like a constantly trying to get to this other place. You can't appreciate where you are. And so it's caused me a lot of heartache and a lot of anxiety and a lot of just unnecessary, unwanted, unneeded stress. You know what I'm saying? Because I was constantly trying to reach something else where I didn't have time. I didn't feel like I wasn't enjoying where I was. Or I got knocked back because I thought I should be here, but I'm here. Right. And it just deflated me. Mm-hmm. So that's what I mean by it's a double-edged sword. So that pressure, I guess it can be seen as good and bad for me because mine was more so self-inflicted. It was probably not the best. It probably wasn't the best, just wasn't the best attempt at just my reality.
I was talking to my better half the other day.
Mm-hmm. The better hoe.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. And I was like, you remember that time you told me that if I ain't make no more money, that was going to be a deal breaker?
We had conversations.
But he was like, I ain't say that. I ain't never said that. I said, I know you think you ain't say that. And I said, I know that was a long time ago, and I never brought it back up because it was just like, true. Like, I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to. Mm-hmm. And it just so happens that, I wasn't breaking my neck or I wasn't like walking on eggshells just about it, but it ended up happening. But it was just funny. Like, he was like, I would never say that. He's like, well, you married me.
You said something like that.
You was right. It was round about that neighborhood. So, but outside of just seeing others who may have been the same age as me, who may have walked the same street that I walked, and we're all in different places. And I'm like, I should be there or pass or just, so yeah. But like you said, you miss things. You miss other opportunities within where you are. And
every path is not the same.
It ain't. But being younger, you really don't feel like, yeah, you don't see that. You just like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be here.
You gotta get it.
And I ain't, so now I feel bad.
I remember all my peers were graduating with their master's degrees. And I was like, oh my God, why haven't I not gotten a master's? Everybody's getting their master's. What was I waiting on? By now, I'm already a couple years married. I got a kid. Like, what the hell? So that was one thing for me. So I guess it was a motivator too, but that really pushed me. I'm like, oh my God, everybody got these other degrees behind their name, these other titles behind their name. What the hell am I doing? What are you doing? I'm just over here, mommy. Like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. But I had a conversation not too long ago with a friend who, in her own right, is very successful. She's doing very, very well. I'm very proud of her. Every chance I get, I'm supporting her. I send people her way. She's well-versed, well-spoken, well-traveled.
Oh, well, thank you. I knew you was talking about me.
She's done a lot. You two friends. But she was saying, while I was telling her how much I admire her and how proud I was of her, she was telling me the same thing. But what she was saying to me was saying, you got the husband and you got the kids and all your other stuff is flowing right along. Whereas I'm doing well at work and my business is doing good and, money's not a thing. She said, but as far as now that we getting on up in age, as far as the husband and kids, I don't have that. And that's something that I wanted. So when I see y'all posting and y'all traveling and y'all doing y'all things, she said, I admire that. And I'm so proud of you. I'm just proud of you. So I'm thinking like, so that goes back to what you were saying, like, your idea of, your success may not be the same idea as somebody else had. Mm-hmm. So while I'm pressuring myself to, I'm looking to see what she's doing and how she's doing it, and I'm pressuring myself to get to this certain wealth, somebody else may see it as you already got it. Mm-hmm. So those pressures are, and how we look, glass half empty, half full, our outlook life is so different. Did something scare you, friend? Okay. All right.
I'm back. I'm good though. But yeah. And I think like, is it easy to, we always can look at somebody else's situation or life and then try to say, okay, well, I want something from there. And I guess the best thing about it is to be, what can I gain or learn or appreciate from them? We're not necessarily saying, oh, I'm either envious, not jealous, but just like, how do I get there?
Or I just like the way you did that, friend. Like, I like the way, I love how you went about that.
Yeah.
That's one thing that women, I wish more women, I'm not like, you and I talk all the time. I'm a big cheerleader for my friends. Even for the people that I wouldn't necessarily say, they're my friends, they're more my associates. I'm a huge cheerleader for you. Mm-hmm. So I think if more women would speak up and cheer whomever on versus looking at them as competition, we'll be in such a much better place in life. It's what my little cousin them tell me. It's enough money because it's not here for everybody to eat. It's enough for everybody.
Yeah, I think I was reading something the other day because I think they were trying to dispel this narrative that women don't support women, which I think we always had, like from back before we even here, before our parents were here, before their parents was here. Right. I believe there was a culture and a system for that. And I mean, maybe it's the environment, maybe it's the particular environment that you may be in where you feel like it's either you, or I think we had this conversation before, like it can't be both of us. It can only be one of us.
But it can be.
So.
Like we both sat on, this webinar yesterday. Mm-hmm. You and I both sat on it together. And the speaker talked about sending the ladder back, putting the ladder back down so that, your fellow woman, because shout out, one thing that we omitted is that yesterday was International Women's Day. So shout out to all the women out there. But anyway, so the webinar that we sat on, the woman speaker, she talked about, once you get to a certain place, you've climbed this ladder of success, you've gotten to the top, send that ladder back down so your homegirl can get up to where you're going. Send them nuggets back down.
Keep sending it.
So that your homegirl can learn from whatever what you went through, learn your lessons so that she can get to where she's going too. Mm-hmm. So instead of that crab in the barrel type mentality, send the ladder back. Yep. So that speaks to that.
Yeah. And I know that's like different from pressure, but if we all shared an experience, if we all shared a congratulations, if we all shared a story,
genuinely,
right? Mm-hmm. Then that helps the next person. Like I would never, somebody would come to me because they felt I was such and such, and they were like, how'd you do it? I'm never gonna be like vague about it. Like, don't be vague about it. Like, right. this.
I love it, man.
Yeah. Because what's for you,
I'm winning. We look the same. So if you winning where you at, then we all winning. I don't get it. I mean,
do you put pressure on anybody else? Did I step on somebody's toes this evening? Look at your neighbor.
The 13 neighbor.
Ouch.
Ouch. Neighbor. Girl. Friend. Friend. Maybe. Maybe. That question, friend, really did catch me off guard because
you could come back. You could do part 2.
That probably would take a part two. But I feel like, well, we all know, I already told you I was married. Like, I'm 13 years in now. So that's been like a long time, like from childhood. Like we grew up together basically. So I do think that I put pressure on my other whole to not be as comfortable, you know, in our relationship as, and when I say comfortable, I want you to be able to let your hair down. I want him to be able to do that. I want him to be able to talk to me about anything. I mean comfortable where we're not doing those things that we used to do back in the day. You know, we're not dating like we did. We're not, you know, gifting like we did, or we're not speaking to each other like we did back in the day. So the same things that we did to get each other, you know, we should be still doing all these years later. So maybe there is a bit of pressure there.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, I'm pretty in the same thing. There's shared pressure. There's shared pressure.
I'm sure.
You know, that's one of those topics that we would definitely have to have a part two on. Marital pressure. How about that? Relationship pressure, intimate relationship pressure.
Yep. That's a whole.
There's a lot of that going around.
Hey, I don't know about you, but you're probably the same with this. But like backtracking, just from your beginning of your existence.
Okay.
I never felt pressure from my parents to. I never felt pressure from my parents. I never felt pressure to get like A's and B's. I wasn't no A/B student. I got sprinkles, but I just reality versus expectation. But I never felt the pressure I had to get good grades. I had to do my chores, but I never felt pressure to get these grades. I never felt pressure, Joy, you gotta go to college. You gotta do. I didn't have that pressure. I didn't have that. I didn't have any pressure. Oh, you sports. I didn't have that.
Do you wish you had that pressure?
Sometimes I think about it and I'm like, yeah. Now, granted, I had parents who, you know, they set rules. I had to do my homework. If I got a bad grade, okay, I'm gonna be on. You know, there were consequences, but I never felt the pressure to do anything beyond that. And for whatever reason, whatever circumstance, whatever reason, I'm not faulting anybody for. But now that I have kids, and then sometimes I think about, I feel like I got a late start, but that late start was when I was an adult and I had my own mind and my own.
All right.
You know, it should have been me. I should have ran with it. What I believe I did. But now with my children, I don't know if there'll be kind of pressure. Like they're not gonna be walking around like they're gonna be scared to come talk to me about stuff. But I will I will nurture them and I will let them know, like, this is this. I expect that, I will structure my kids in that way. My parents weren't the type where I was always home by myself. Me and my brother, it wasn't like that. But it was just the fact that if I got an F I could talk my way out of it. But I was never like, oh my God, I'm gonna be in trouble. That didn't happen.
Okay, that was not my experience. I had a complete opposite experience of that, okay?
Oh.
Pam did not play, baby, okay? She didn't play. And I think she saw something in me that maybe at an early age, of course, I didn't see myself, because who was I? I didn't know myself. Right. So she saw that I possibly didn't see. So that goes back to that parenting style, how you parent the kids differently, because you parent your children differently because they respond differently. She was way harder on me than she was with the one that was right under me. But she, like I said, she knew, and hindsight is 20/20. So I'm sure she knew that I needed that type of push, because I'm a procrastinator. One, I can't be lazy if I, don't have the desire to do anything. I can most definitely just let it fall by the wayside. So I'm sure for her, it was, I got to push this kid because, one, she can do the work. Two, she needed motivation. So the motivation or the pressure that my mom put on me to be successful, I'm sure was, like I said, based on what she saw. There was no such, there was no secret. I was from beginning to the end, AB student. Then when I got to, I remember when I struggled in math. Like math, I hate math to this day. I struggled with math all the way through college. But math was very hard for me. And if I think about it, I can picture like us, me and her sitting at the table, going over math. I'm in tears. She's screaming, I don't get it. She like, why you don't get it? You know, but me going to bed like, oh my God, I got to get a B8 B in this class. But I struggled so much in it till it was like, it's like speaking a different language to me. So, and then when it came to the point where it was time to graduate high school, I wanted to go to the military. I had made my mind up. I was going to the Air Force. I had taken the test. I was going to the Air Force. This is what I was going to do. Had my mind made up. I had been at ROTC all these years. I loved ROTC. You know, they said I could go in as, you know, this certain, I can't even remember what it was, a grade or whatever it looks like, a rank, because I had been at ROTC. And I had my mind made up. I was going to the Air Force. My mom was like, no. You're going to college. You're going to school. And you're going to finish in 4 years. And when you finish in 4 years, and you're not coming back here. So when you leave here, okay, you need to graduate. You need to be graduating into a career, a job. You need to be taking care of you. You need to be taking care of something. I ain't have those. I had to graduate. I had to go to school. There was no choices in life. There was no choices with my mom. She's like, this is what it's going to be. And I'll be damned if I was not. I was so afraid to fail, so afraid not to deliver, because this lady going to kill me. Let me do what she told me to do. She said, I remember this one time, she's like, you're going to the AU. I'm from Atlanta, so the AU Center. She's like, you're going to Clark. You're going to Clark. At the time, she worked downtown. It was like, she worked like 10 minutes away from the campus. I was like, I don't want to go to Clark. I don't want to be that close to you. Are you going to Clark? So I can drive. Think you're going to be wild out here? So I can drive.
You going to drop me off at college?
You want me? No.
I guess the couple way you going to drop. You know what?
No, you know what? Don't worry. I'm going away. I'm going. Yeah, my mom didn't play. She didn't play that. She was a little softer on my sister. My that came after me, but the one that came after me needed for her to be more understanding, a little softer. I needed for her to be apply a little more pressure. So that's it.
That's great. I think that you ain't had none of that. It was just like, I don't even know what's college an option. I took it upon myself to go that route. I took it upon myself which is fine, because I think that built some stuff in me, like not to rely. Is rely that word? To like just, you know,
for somebody else to push you.
Yeah, and I could figure this thing out myself, but I do wish, when I think about it, because like I'm an adult now and I'm a mom now, and I'm like, I do wish I had. I would, and I be watching these TV shows. I'd be like, oh, all right, parents is on it. Parents is like, you need this and this to go to this. But you know, it's all good. I turned out great, but I didn't have that.
Sometimes I don't think parents can give you what they didn't have. You know what I'm saying?
And that's true.
So I don't think they can like give you these, like I'm sure they wanted you to go to school, and they wanted you to have A's, and they wanted you to do all these things, but it's kind of hard to equip somebody with tools that you didn't have yourself. So how can I give you what I didn't have? I can't give it to you because I don't know how. So maybe, and I don't know, we haven't talked about this in our personal time, but maybe your parents didn't have, you know, someone to push them like that. So maybe their parenting style was something that they inherited, because most of the times our parenting style is what we inherit from our parents. So maybe they inherited from their parents, and so they feel like, okay, I turned out good. This is what I'm doing for my
girl, I don't know if I was listening or reading a book, I don't know, but I heard somebody say that you support whoever, whether it's kids,
Mm-hmm.
friend, uncle, whoever.
Mm-hmm.
You support people the way you know how. And
Mm-hmm.
it was like, I forget what I was listening to, but it was almost like, okay, I think I know what I was listening to. I think it was a speaker. But it was like, if that's what it was a speaker on a panel somewhere. But what she said was, I wanted to be a writer. And somebody in her family, they didn't know how to help her or support her to be a writer, but they were like, I know such and such that works in the school system, it can get you a job. Like, yeah. So it was almost, and to someone else, it could say, well, you're not supporting me, my dream, right? But what it is I don't know how to help you with that dream because I don't have the tools or the resources to really help you with that.
There you go.
But if you need some money real quick while you work on that dream or that goal, right. And a lot of times I think when people see somebody come from the left and not seeing their vision, which is okay, everybody's supposed to see your vision.
That's a word right there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they think like, oh, you ain't supportive, you ain't but it's all about, like you said, the tools and the resources of what you have, and sometimes how we translate that information can come in as to like, well, I can support you this way, so if that can help you get to where you want to go, yeah. So I do that. Like in my mind's eye, I'm like, yeah, whoever need my support, it may not look on the outside that I'm helping you with that particular project or avenue.
Mm-hmm.
You need something to help support that. I could, I
could do it. Right.
Yeah.
And I get it that type of pressure or support looks different to different individuals. Oh, that's kind of like your love language. Like maybe my way of supporting you, maybe I, pass your information along to somebody else, or maybe I, posted something that you posted to share your business. I shared a post. Maybe in my mind, that's how I chose to support you. But maybe to that person, maybe their form of support may have been, oh, well, you didn't show up at this event, or you didn't purchase this from me.
Right.
But you're thinking like, but I told somebody else about you, and that person purchased from you. And I I put it on my social media platform. So that was my way of supporting you. So kind of like your love language. So everybody's vision of how you support them and how you apply pressure, or how you, it looks different for all. So that's just that.
And with that, are we going to get ready to our minds and hearts? Are we there yet? We are
almost there, but you are backpedaling from that grown folks topic that we talked about.
Am I?
Yeah.
What grown folks?
Yeah.
What grown folks?
What? That after midnight, after the children are asleep, after you've had,
no pressure.
That pressure,
That ain't pressure.
It can be.
It can be.
It can be. It can most definitely be pressure to perform as a wife, because as a wife, we got so many other things going on. Not just you guys. You got school, you got work, you got the house, you got the bills, you got so many things going on. The pressure to still look like you did when y'all got married 13 years ago. All kind of pressure that you have on your back, right? That you've been worried about, been filling your head all day long. And then after those kids go to bed, you put that last load of clothes in the dryer. You don't pinch your hair real for the night.
You tapped out.
You don't bathe, okay? You don't put that gown on. Okay? Took out them contacts. You don't put your phone down for the night. that pressure, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the pressure to fulfill your wifely duties. So I'm pretty sure every woman goes through this time where you're thinking like, oh my God, I really just want to go to sleep, or I really just want to get my work done. I really just am
want to read this book.
I'm really just trying to chill. I'm trying to read. I'm trying to write. I'm just really trying to have some time alone. And here comes your significant other wanting. What about me? What about me? So, you know, men don't understand, or not that they don't understand, they don't really care that much about that personal time. They want that time of them with you.
Yeah, because I think that they think that all entails what you should be or what this model looks like. So accept it.
Right. Just take it. Take that.
Accept the role. Accept this.
This what you signed up for, right? Mm-hmm. You saw when we went to the courthouse and got. I don't recall them saying, but okay. But I don't remember them saying outside of all the other person I have in life that I still need to be.
Listen, we didn't even know what we was truly signing up for, okay?
We did that. Now that's the topic.
We ain't know.
What I thought I was signing up for wasn't really what I signed up for. Like, can I get that contract? I need to review my contract. Can you run that back?
Right.
I'm confused about what I signed up for. But yeah.
See that in the fine print.
So I think that now don't get me wrong, ladies who have not delved into, you know, not even just a marriage, but just being with a partner, a lifelong partner. It's good. Like you learn back in the day that sex is good. It was meant to be good. It's meant to be something between the husband and wife. So it's good. It's good. Okay. Trust me and believe. It's good. Curl your toes, knock your socks off. Great. Some days, I really just want to go to sleep. Some days, I really could just not.
Right.
But that is one of those pressures that I do believe. Men totally think differently from women. They with a different part of their bodies than women do. So, for most men, and some men are different. I'm just saying, I can only speak for the one that I married. But for most men, you know, that's how they reciprocate the love, you know what I'm saying? Like, or they feel like maybe you don't have the attention. I'm not getting the attention I need from you. I'm not getting the time I need from you. So they equate that attention, that time to sex. Whereas we may not feel like that. Maybe I'm like, well, I sat up and watched a movie with you.
Right.
I made sure I was, you know, completely, you know, with you, not in my phone, not.
It's all intimacy. It's all different levels of intimacy.
There you go.
And quality time.
There you go. But that's not so that's a pressure within itself to make sure that you're performing those wifely duties. And I think also in that, for me, it may not be the same for you, but for me, from 18 to almost 40, I'm going into my 40s, that weight and how I look and how my body look and how I feel about the way I look has also been an added pressure. Okay. Especially you see, like, I mean, we living in a social media type environment now. Well, I know it's not all real, and I know, you know, a lot of people have had, you know, nips, tucks here and there. But still, when you look and you see, like, oh my God, we're the same age, that we've had the same amount of kids. I got kids the same age, and she is snatched. Meanwhile, I'm still trying to pick my chest up. So my baby's 6, and I'm still trying to get that 6-year weight off me, and she's snatched. Those are those other pressures, okay? Well, you know, just I got a name on my back that I got in college. They used to spread across my whole back because I was fine then. But baby, when I tell you that thing is a dead in the middle of my back now, that's that pressure. That pressure that I'm talking about.
Hey, I used to that body pressure. Did I have? I don't know. I felt like, nah, nope. Maybe be taller.
Be taller. I constantly went through that.
But people made it such an issue. Like I was a dwarf. Like,
friend, we about the same height though.
Exactly.
And we might be dwarfs.
Can
we get a check for it? I'll be a dwarf. Can we get a check for it though?
Hey, I didn't make it an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But people, I don't know. They just, I'm not short. Like, okay, I'm not like tall.
Vertically challenged.
I'm not vertically challenged.
Okay, friend, but we the same height, and I do believe
average.
I got long.
I see a lot of people that's our height, but I say that to say there's a certain way. I don't know. I haven't even thought about it, but it don't really play an added role into me getting, with my mans and them, my man.
They don't feel that. Now I do. Let me scale back for a minute. Cool. I am very that in the social media era that we live in, and where surgery is very obtainable, mm-hmm. it's not for the rich anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm very happy.
It's not taboo anymore either. But go ahead. Uh-huh. I said it's not taboo anymore either.
Not taboo anymore. Mm-hmm. But I'm very thankful. I'm very happy. And I know that you can probably share in what I'm saying. I'm so happy that I can still walk across the room and my man, my husband, still look at me the same way he looked at me all them years ago. And I'm very happy and thankful that I can still walk past him and he still wants to touch me mm-hmm. like he did all these years ago. And I'm so very happy that although I'm annoyed in the middle of the night that he's tapping me on my shoulder, he still wants to give it to me. He's still attracted to me in that way. Because it's some women that struggle with that piece where after years and years, their mates are not, are just not doing them like that. So it is some pressure to perform all the time after the long days and weeks after we've already taken care of the kids in the house. Mm-hmm. But I'm thankful that, my man still is attracted to me in that way.
Yeah. He won't you.
Although I kind of worry about my weight.
He won't you. Yeah, well, it's as long as it comes from within, how you feel about yourself.
Oh yeah. Although I feel some kind of way about my weight and how things, but
right.
Right. I mean,
right. So that's self-pressure.
It is. That's the self-pressure. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. We have from all around. We definitely do challenge all of our good girlfriends that are tuned in to the WIMC to try to see where those pressures are coming from, if it's a self-inflicted pressure or if it's something that, your peers or your family members or the people that love you, or the people that are in your circle are putting on you, and investigate those pressures and see, where it's coming from and see how you can unload and get some of that pressure out your cup.
Out yourself. And like you said, you made it very clear. Reality, expectation. Is that pressure your reality, or is it an expectation?
How you find your happiness?
Yeah, like, is it really something that you really need to attain or really want to attain? Who's
feeling?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is that you or somebody else? Yeah, figure that out. But most importantly, check your reality. Check your reality, because people's perception is their reality all day. But what's your reality? and make it make sense to your expectations. So that's what I have and we have for you on today.
Make it plain. Make it plain. Make it plain, Pastor.
Hey.
Make it plain, friend.
So as we close out on today, if all minds and hearts are clear,
we clear.
We bid you a good day. But don't y'all forget. They should not forget.
Wait a minute now.
Hold up.
Okay, they listening.
Okay. Just making sure. We need you to come on back. And we also need you to grow this community by sharing, liking, subscribing, posting, commenting.
Hey, say girlfriend, say girlfriend, say girlfriend. Hey. Come see that girlfriend.
Right. We're here for you. Okay, gals?
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.